there are two types of movement, means uniaxial movement, flexion, extension, as well as the adduction and abduction. So in wrist joint, normally in a normal anatomical position, in a wrist joint, three bones are involved, radius and two carpal bones, that is a scaphoid and lunate. So only triquetral comes in contact with the articular disc in full adduction, means full ulnar deviation. And actually wrist joint ko movement, so movement of wrist joint, so in case of extension and the adduction, so extension and adduction mainly occurs at a wrist joint, but flexion and the lateral deviation more occurs at mid carpal joint. You know this, I have told you in previous class. So today we'll discuss the other joints in upper limb, and then we'll move to the very important today's topic, that is mammary gland. So the joints of hand ma intercarpal joints, intercarpal joint between the carpal bones, that is intercarpal joint, and then the carpo-metacarpal joint, carpo-metacarpal and intermetacarpal joint. So intercarpal joint, carpo-metacarpal joint and intermetacarpal joint. So intercarpal means between the carpal bones, carpal bones ko. Carpo-metacarpal means carpal and metacarpal बीच को joint, and then intermetacarpal also. So why intermetacarpal? So near the metacarpal you can see here. So the one metacarpal is in contact with the other metacarpal. So that joint is intermetacarpal joint. Now this first carpo-metacarpal is important because it is saddle type of synovial joint. First carpo-metacarpal joint. So first carpo-metacarpal joint ma so movements are flexion, extension huncha, abduction, adduction, opposition, medial and lateral rotation huncha, and then circumduction is also possible at first carpo-metacarpal joint. Note this point. So movements of first carpo-metacarpal joint. So it is saddle type of synovial. Other are, which joint other are? Anyone?
Sternoclavicular.
Other example, sternoclavicular, yes.
Inguinal.
Okay. Now a joint of fingers. So in fingers, so metacarpophalangeal joint and interphalangeal joint. Metacarpophalangeal joint is example of same. I told you ellipsoid and interphalangeal joint are example of. So this is the example of hinge joint, like elbow joint. So joints of fingers में दुईटा हुन्छ, interphalangeal र metacarpophalangeal. So interphalangeal में in case of thumb there is only one interphalangeal, and remaining medial four fingers में two interphalangeal, that is proximal interphalangeal and distal interphalangeal joint are हुन्छ. Distal interphalangeal joint. So यो joint are हुन्छ interphalangeal joint. Now the movement of thumb. Many times I perform this movement of thumb. So movement of thumb actually occurs at carpo-metacarpal, means first carpo-metacarpal, and metacarpophalangeal as well as the interphalangeal joints. याद करने त्यसैले thumb को केस में सबै movement, all movement are possible here in case of thumb, because movements of thumb occurs at not only at the metacarpophalangeal joint, first metacarpophalangeal joint, but it also occurs at first carpo-metacarpal as well as the interphalangeal joint. ये तीनटे joint में यो हुन्छ thumb को movement. That's why so thumb को केस में सबै movement possible छ, तर अरु finger को केस में छैन. So metacarpophalangeal joint में अरु जस्तै index finger, middle finger, ring finger and the in little finger, यो सबैमा के हुन्छ, यो सबै के कुन joint हो, यो सबै अरु ellipsoid type को. यसमा कुन movement possible हुन्छ, only flexion, extension, adduction and abduction. Only at thumb all movements are possible, because जो thumb को movement metacarpophalangeal joint में मात्र है ना कि यो कार्पो मेटाकार्पल र इंटरफेरेंजियल जोइंट सबैमा हुन्छ यसको मुभमेन्ट मेनली कार्पो मेटाकार्पलमा फर्स्ट कार्पो मेटाकार्पल so because of the first कार्पो मेटाकार्पल so all movements are possible for the thumb so various movements flexion extension abduction adduction opposition as well as the circumduction so movement of thumb mainly adduction and abduction are in relation to the middle finger को in relation मा हुन्छ यसको movement so the medial and lateral rotation of this thumb it occurs along the long axis and medial rotation is produced by the opponents and the flexor muscles medial rotation भनेको flexion पनि हो र opposition पनि हो so medial तिर so lateral rotation produced by the extensor muscles extensor तिर lateral rotation that is lateral rotation so movement of thumb medial as well as the lateral rotation and they occur along the long axis of thumb so medial rotation is produced by the opponent's muscle opponent's pollicis as well as the flexor pollicis longus as well as brevis so lateral rotation produced by the extensor muscles extensor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis now the movements of fingers ma finger ko movements haru kaha huncha metacarpophalangeal joint and interphalangeal joint both PIP as well as the DIP so movement for the fingers except the thumb what are the movements flexion extension abduction and adduction so abduction and adduction occurs at metacarpophalangeal joint and flexion and extension occurs at metacarpophalangeal joint as well as interphalangeal joints ma adduction and abduction is only possible at metacarpophalangeal joint but flexion and extension are possible at all joints metacarpophalangeal PIP as well as the DIP सबैमा हुन्छ यो movements fingers को and I told you adduction and abduction are in relation with the middle finger so if fingers come toward the middle finger then that is the adduction and if fingers go away from the middle finger that is the abduction you can see here in this picture abduction and adduction is along the in relation to the middle finger actually flexion extension सबै joint मा हुन्छ metacarpophalangeal interphalangeal both proximal as well as the distal interphalangeal joint ma now we'll discuss the mammary gland so any confusion I'll take 2-minute break here so if you have any confusion you can ask regarding the joints of upper limb so upper limb ko joint ma we discussed shoulder joint elbow joint superior inferior radial nerve joint wrist joint and then metacarpophalangeal joint interphalangeal joint if no query then we'll proceed okay so before moving to the mammary gland so I want to tell you one thing so 3 or 4 years back there was one survey in United Kingdom so that survey shows when actually man looks at woman so first what part they see man first is the face actually so 4 years back there was one survey according to that survey first organ of female that is seen by the male is the face and second next to the face is the mammary gland so यो एउटा पिक्चर म शेयर गर्न लागे so actually यो मोनालिसा को हो which is painted by the famous artist at that time, Leonardo da Vinci. So अहिलेको केसमा पिक्चर ड्रा गर्नु पर्यो यस्तो ड्रा गर्थ्यो, पेन्ट गर्थ्यो होला. सो यो धेरै फेमस पिक्चर हो त्यो बेलाको. मैले एउटा सोशल मिडियाबाट त्यो बेला नै लिएको थिएँ एउटा. So why male is so attached to the mammary gland? The reason behind is that, so when a person takes birth, so it is mainly the person depends mainly for the initial 6 months of their life. They are dependent on this organ only, breastfeeding like that. That's why male are so attached to this mammary gland. This is the reason. Okay. So now coming to the introduction of this mammary gland. So it is modified sweat gland. And actually this mammary gland is found in both sex, male as well as the female. But in case of male, this mammary gland is rudimentary. But in case of female, it is well developed at puberty. Even in female also it is rudimentary before puberty. But at the puberty, it is well developed. Mammary gland is well developed in case of female. So in case of female, this mammary gland or breast forms the accessory sex organ and it provides the milk to the newborn baby. So the anatomical position of this mammary gland, so it is actually placed in superficial facial pectoral region. And the literal meaning of pectoral means anterolateral aspect of the chest, that is the pectoral. So it is actually located in the superficial fascia. So first there is a skin, then superficial fascia, and then the deep fascia, and then the muscles are there, like that. So the mammary gland is located in superficial fascia pectoral region. And in this picture also we can see here, there is a small extension from its superolateral part. And that extension from the superolateral part of the mammary gland pierces the deep fascia. So deep fascia here is the pectoral fascia. And it also extends into the axilla. This mammary gland extends up to the axilla. And the aperture in the deep fascia is known as the foramen of Langer. Again I repeat, so foramen of Langer is the aperture, and that aperture is pierced by the superlateral part of mammary gland, that is called as the axillary tail of Spence. So this mammary gland is not only present in the chest region or pectoral region, but it also extends into the axilla. So in this picture also we can see here, axillary process extends into the axilla. So this is about the location of mammary gland. So at least you should remember it is located in superficial fascia, not deep to the muscle, but superficial to the muscle. So you can see here, male as well as the female. Above picture is female, lower is the male. And this axillary tail is the site of high percentage of breast tumor. So breast tumor is one of the commonest tumor in case of female. So this axillary tail is the site of high percentage of breast tumor. You can note on this point, axillary tail of Spence is the high percentage of breast tumor. And axillary tail passes through the foramen of Langer. And foramen of Langer, what is foramen of Langer? It is the foramen present in the deep fascia. So here we can see here, in this picture, skin is reflected, and then beneath the skin there is a superficial fascia, and in superficial fascia mainly vessels are present. Vessels, nerves, lymphatics, as well as the loose tissue. there present are fat, mainly fat. In case of when we talk about the fat is mainly present in the superficial fascia, and they are prominent in the below the umbilicus in the anterior abdominal wall, as well as their fat are more prominent in case of upper and lower limb. So fat is mainly present in the superficial fascia. So in this picture also we can see here fat here as well as the mammary gland, and we can also see here the axillary tail of Espens, axillary process of the mammary gland, which extends into the axilla. So अस्ति हम पनि डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि this axillary tail Junsan, it is also one of the content of the axilla, axillary process of mammary gland. So it is present in superficial fascia, location of this mammary gland. It is located in the pectoral region in superficial fascia. That is the anatomical position of the mammary gland. Location is in case of male as well as the female. In case of male here. So this is about the location. Now coming to the shape of this mammary gland. So mammary gland is actually hemispherical bulge shape. Hemispherical shape. It is not full spherical, but it is hemispherical. Half a sphere. So it is hemispherical in shape, mammary gland. And the extent of the mammary gland. So mammary gland को vertical extent as well as the horizontal extent. So vertically it extends from the 2nd to 6th rib. In this picture also we can see 2nd to 6th rib. That is the vertical extension of mammary gland. And horizontally extension of this mammary gland is from the lateral border of the sternum. So actually this sternum is actually present in the midline, mid-sagittal line. So it doesn't have the medial border, only two lateral border on either side, right side as well as the left side. So the extension, horizontal extension of the mammary gland is from the lateral border of the sternum to the mid-axillary line. So what is mid-axillary line? So mid-axillary line is the midway between the two axillary fold, anterior axillary fold and posterior axillary fold. So if you draw one vertical line in the midway of the both anterior and axillary fold, posterior axillary fold, that is the mid axillary line. So the anterior axillary fold, how it is formed, by which muscle? We have already discussed this in axilla. Anyone? Anterior or posterior axillary fold के लिए form कर सर?
Anterior pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, clavipectoral fascia.
No, Pravesh. Only the pectoralis major. Only the pectoralis major forms the anterior axillary fold. And what about the posterior axillary fold, Saira? Anyone? Posterior axillary fold is formed by which muscle?
Subscapularis.
Subscapularis.
Teres major.
Latissimus dorsi.
Teres major. Very good. One more.
Latissimus dorsi.
Latissimus dorsi.
Yes, latissimus dorsi. Very good. Latissimus dorsi and teres major. दुईटे मेजर याद रख लें. Pectoralis major forms the anterior axillary fold, and the posterior axillary fold is mainly formed by the latissimus dorsi and teres major. दुईटे मेजर याद रखने. और तीनटे मसल्स का अटैच हुन्छ along the यो bicipital group में. तीनटे मसल को रिलेशन कहाँ छ? bicipital group में. तो याद रखने bicipital group में जुन मसल्स को अटैचमेंट छ त्यसले नै के फर्म गर्छ? Axillary fold, both anterior and posterior. Anterior axillary fold by pectoralis major. Posterior axillary fold is formed by mainly the latissimus dorsi and the teres major. Teres major. So the mid axillary line भनेको दुईटे axillary fold को midway, that is the mid axillary line. So the lateral extension mammary gland को कहाँ देखि हुन्छ? Lateral border of the sternum to the mid axillary line. We can see here lateral border of the sternum to the mid axillary line. That is the horizontal extension. Vertical extension from the second to sixth rib. Now, so the relation, now coming to the relations. So the यसमा के हुन्छ posterior mainly relations किनभने यो anteriorly present हुन्छ. So why anteriorly? Because anteriorly यसको relation के हुन्छ only skin. So beneath the skin there is superficial fascia, and in superficial fascia only this mammary gland is present. So that's why the anterior relation is the skin, and deep relation means deep aspect of the breast, superficial to deep के हुन्छ, that is loose tissue, that is retromammary space, and then the pectoral fascia. Pectoral fascia means deep fascia. Deep fascia in case of pectoral region is called as the pectoral fascia, and that pectoral fascia covers the pectoralis major mainly. So that we can see in this picture. So just behind the mammary gland there is one space, and that space is called as the retromammary space. And because of the this retromammary space, which is filled by the loose connective tissue or areolar tissue or loose tissue, and because of that, so during walking, so this mammary gland move भइरहेको हुन्छ downwards as well as the horizontally, vertically as well as the horizontally उसको movement भइरहेको हुन्छ during walking because of the retromammary space. पछाडि के हुन्छ retromammary space, त्यसैले उसको movement भइरहेको हुन्छ while walking. This is the main reason why there is a movement during walking. So there is a loose connective tissue just behind the mammary gland. Not actually loose tissue, there is that space is called retro space, retromammary space. Retro means behind, and this retromammary space is filled with loose tissue. And then pectoral fascia is there. Deep to the loose tissue there is pectoral fascia, and that pectoral fascia covers the pectoralis major muscle mainly here. And deep to the pectoral fascia there are three muscles: pectoralis major, serratus anterior, as well as the external oblique muscle. In this picture we can see external oblique muscles. So external oblique muscles को origin माथिबाट हुन्छ, ribs हरूबाट हुन्छ, and lateral aspect मा serratus anterior muscle is there, and anterior aspect of the chest मा mainly pectoralis major हुन्छ. The minor किन हुँदैन? Pectoralis major covers the pectoralis minor, त्यसैले minor relation मा हुँदैन. Only major comes in relation to the mammary gland. Not on this point. Only pectoralis major, not minor, because pectoralis minor is covered by the pectoralis major. And if you see below, there is another muscle of the one muscle from the anterior abdominal wall, that is external oblique muscles, and the lateral aspect ma another one muscle, that is serratus anterior. So these three muscles, pectoralis major, serratus anterior, and external oblique muscles. So again I repeat, deep relations of the mammary gland is retromammary space, deep fascia, that is pectoral fascia, and then deep to the pectoral fascia muscles. In muscles, three muscles, mainly pectoralis major. Pectoralis major is present in anterior aspect, and inferiorly one more muscle, that is the external oblique, and that external oblique muscle is the muscle of anterior abdominal wall. And lateral side one more muscle, that is serratus anterior. Like this, there is a relation. Again, I want to show you here the retromammary space. Just behind the mammary gland, there is a space that is called retromammary space. Another picture we can see here. There is retromammary space and then muscles. Now coming to the structure of this mammary gland. So in the structure, first we'll discuss the skin and then the stroma. Stroma means supporting factor. Which support this is one gland. So gland में दुईटा part हुन्छ, एउटा gland proper, र remaining part is called the stroma. Remaining part is called the stroma. Remaining part is called the stroma, and then so this is one mammary gland. कुनै पनि gland मा दुईटा part हुन्छ. एउटा supporting part, अर्को supporting part is called as the parenchyma. In any gland, parenchyma. So that is the gland proper. र parenchyma लाई support गर्ने part, that is the stroma and skin. So in skin we will discuss the two portion in skin मा हामीले discuss गर्छौं. Areola as well as the nipple. Skin को case मा दुईटा subheadings. Areola as well as the nipple, and then stroma, and then the parenchyma. Parenchyma is the main part. So you can see in this picture, areola, nipple, and then the parenchyma. So this nipple, the nipple is conical projection below the center of the breast. Just below the center of the breast, there is conical projection, and that is called as the nipple. So it is a part of the skin. It is a skin only, nipple, and normally this nipple is present in the fourth intercostal space. You will study in detail about the intercostal space in respiratory system. For the time being, you just remember the intercostal means in between the two ribs. Means fourth intercostal space means this is the space between fourth and fifth ribs. So fourth intercostal space. Normally nipple is present in fourth intercostal space, and it contains smooth muscle fibers. And because of this smooth muscle fiber, so the nipple becomes stiff and erect. And being highly sensitive in nerve supply, because of the it is highly innervated, so it is the most sensitive part of tactile stimulation, and it becomes erect during sexual arousal, this nipple. So it becomes stiff and erect because of the smooth muscles. And why it becomes erect? Because of the highly innervation. So being richly innervated by the sensory nerve endings, so nipple is most sensitive part of for the tactile stimulations, and it becomes erect, and it is made up of smooth muscles. Nipple is made up of smooth muscles. So this is exceptional smooth muscles which is present in the skin. And now coming to the areola. So this areola, it is circular area around the nipple, and it is pigmented. It is pigmented skin that surrounds the base of the nipple. It is red dark red it is. It is a circular area of pigmented skin around the base of the nipple, and it contains large number of modified sebaceous glands. This areola. And what is the main function of the sebaceous? Why sebaceous glands are present around the nipple? So they produce the oily secretion. Because of the oily secretion, it lubricates the nipple, and it prevents the nipple as well as the areola from the cracking and drying. So you can note on this point. So in the areola, there are many modified sebaceous glands, and the main action of the sebaceous gland is to produce the oil. And what is the action of oil? That oil prevents the nipple as well as the areola from cracking as well as the drying. And the color of the nipple and areola, it varies with complexion of female. So during pregnancy, the areola becomes darker and enlarged. This color, it becomes more darker in case of pregnancy. Now coming to the stroma. I told you a stroma. So in any gland, there are two main factors. One is the stroma, another is the gland proper. So gland proper is called like the parenchyma. That is the main part which secretes and the stroma is the supporting factor. Supporting factor. Now the stroma ma connective tissue as well as the fat हुन्छ. And the stroma form the supporting framework of the breast. And the connective tissue in case of mammary gland is condensed here. And that condensation forms the septa or fibrous band. And that band is known as the suspensory ligament of Cooper. So the connective tissue in case of mammary gland is condensed, and that forms the septa, many septa, and that is the suspensory ligament of Cooper. In this picture we can see, so the connective tissue is condensed here, and that connective tissue, which is called the ligament of Cooper. So ligament of Cooper connects this mammary gland to the skin as well as the deep fascia. And you know the deep fascia is made up of the same collagen fibers. And the suspensory ligament of Cooper are arranged in radial fashion, and they connect the skin, dermis of the underlying skin, to the ducts of breast as well as the pectoral fascia. So the ligaments of Cooper connect superficially to the skin, dermis of the skin, and deeply it is connected. They are connected to the deep fascia, and deep fascia here is called as the pectoral fascia. And because of the presence of these ligaments of Cooper, so ligament of Cooper mainly maintains the shape of the breast. Protuberance of the breast is maintained by the condensation of the connective tissue, and that is called the ligament of Cooper. And this ligament of Cooper, as age advances, they get atrophied. They start degenerating as age advances, this ligament of Cooper. And in case of, that's why in case of old age, the breast become pendulous. It becomes pendulum. It moves up and down. Because of the ligament of Cooper becomes atrophied in old age. And in case of young, this because of the ligament of Cooper, it maintains the shape and the size of the mammary gland. So ligament of Cooper is very important for the maintenance of the breast, for the maintenance of the shape and size of the breast. And what is the ligament of Cooper? It is condensation of the connective tissue. And what is the another function of this? Where it is attached? Superficially it is attached to the dermis. Deep it is attached to the pectoral fascia as well as the ducts of the mammary gland. Now another important factor in case of the stroma ma duita parts are connective tissue, remaining is the fat. So in this picture yellowish part jadi dekhiye ko sabbai fat ho, adipose tissue yellowish. So the fat forms the bulk of the breast. So breast में mainly क्या होता है? Fat होता है. So because of the presence of fat, it is soft. Bulky part fat ले पाने कौन से हो? And fat is distributed all over the breast except beneath the areola and the nipple. There is no fat just beneath the areola as well as the nipple. ત્યાં કે हुन्छ ducts हुन्छ. र त्यहाँबाट रेडियल फ्यासनमा ligaments of Cooper हरूको के हुन्छ arrangement हुन्छ. त्यसैले there is no fat. Fat is present all over the mammary gland except beneath the areola and the nipple. And now coming to the parenchyma. So in any gland, two parts are there, two components. One is the stroma, that is connective tissue framework. Remaining part is the parenchyma or gland proper. So the parenchyma secretes the milk to feed the newborn baby. parenchyma. And parenchyma here consists of 15 to 20 lobes. 15 to 20 lobes. And that they are arranged in radial fashion like the spokes of wheel and converge towards the nipple. यो सबै जति पनि ग्ल्यान्ड्सहरु हुन्छ लोब्सहरु हुन्छ सबैको कहाँ कन्भर्ज हुन्छ towards the nipple. So that's why beneath the nipple or beneath the areola there is no fat. Yeah, glandular tissue proper they are condensed there. So the parenchyma consists of 15 to 20 lobes and they are arranged in the radial fashion like the spokes of wheel. जैसे साइकलहरुको स्पोक्स हुन्छ नि हो त्यो त्यस्तै फ्यासनमा यसको अरेन्जमेन्ट हुन्छ यो प्यारेन्कामाको 15 to 20 lobes हुन्छ यसमा. We can see here in this picture lactiferous duct हामी हेर्न सक्छौं lactiferous sinus and त्यसपछि लोब र लोब्युल्सहरु हुन्छ. लोब भित्र धेरै लोब्युल्सहरु हुन्छ र acini is the functional unit of any gland. Acini. And each lobe is divided into lobules and which consist of cluster of acini. Anyone can define the acini? Acini, have you heard the term acini in basic concept? Acini सुनिए छ basic concept मा gland. Okay. So in any gland, acini is the main functional part of any gland, that is the acini. It is the secretory portion of any gland, that is called acini. Either serous or serous glands or mucous glands. Kune pani glands. So glands around the lumen is called acinus. Secretory portion of acinus. So each lobe is divided into different lobules and lobules consist of cluster of acini. And this lobule is drained by the lactiferous duct. So each lobe is drained by the main lactiferous duct. So lactiferous duct is formed by many small ducts joined to form the large duct, and large duct is called as here lactiferous duct. And ducts from different lobes converge towards the nipple and they open at the summit of the nipple. At the summit they open. So each lobe is divided into different lobules and lobules are made up of a cluster of acini. We can see here in this picture also lobules मा धेरै aciniहरु हुन्छ र each lobule मा के हुन्छ minor ductsहरु हुन्छ र minor ductहरु जोइन गर्दा गर्दै के हुन्छ major duct फर्म गर्छ यो. So near its termination each duct expands into lactiferous sinus. So we can see here the lactiferous sinus. So near its termination, each duct expands to form the lactiferous sinus. And what is the main action of the function of lactiferous sinus? So lactiferous sinuses act as a reservoir of milk during lactation. Milk is stored in lactating female. This lactiferous sinus stores the milk. So this lactiferous duct before termination it expands and that expansion is called as the lactiferous sinus. In previous slide also we can see here lactiferous sinus. Each lobe ma lactiferous sinus huncha here lactiferous sinus and that lactiferous sinus duct opens into the nipple. So this is about the parenchyma or glandular tissue. Another picture we can see here. Lobules are huncha. Lobules ma acini are huncha. Mainly acini is the secretory portion. Acini is the secretory portion who secretes the milk, and that milk is mainly drained by the lactiferous duct. Lactiferous duct is the largest duct, and lactiferous duct open into the summit of this nipple, and just before the termination lactiferous duct is expanded, and that is called as the lactiferous sinus. The literal meaning of sinus means bland end actually, but it is not bland here. Here it opens into the nipple here. Now coming to the arterial supply. Arterial supply. So it is supplied by three different arteries. One artery is the axillary artery. Another is the posterior intercostal artery, and third artery is the mammary artery or internal thoracic artery. Internal thoracic artery. ये तीन arteries है. So internal thoracic artery को perforating branch और ले supply कर सकते. So perforating branches of the internal thoracic artery supply the mammary gland. Another artery is the posterior intercostal artery. So the lateral branches of the posterior intercostal artery also supply, and there are branches coming from the axillary artery. So medial part is supplied by the internal thoracic artery, lateral part is supplied by the posterior intercostal artery, and superior part is supplied by the axillary artery. So axillary artery को पनि different branches हुन्छ. Lateral thoracic artery is the longer branch. यो artery को axillary artery को branchesहरुले supply गर्छ mammary gland लाई. यो तीनटा artery mainly. There are branches हुन्छ, but from the three different arteries. One is the branches from the axillary artery, another branches from the internal posterior intercostal artery, third is the mammary artery or internal thoracic artery. So internal thoracic artery को another name is the mammary artery. So axillary artery को तीनटा branches हैं, superior thoracic artery, thoracoacromial artery, and the lateral thoracic artery है. यो artery supply गर्छ. तीनटा artery. You can see in this picture also here branches from the axillary artery, internal thoracic artery. Another picture. We supply the arterial supply, and then coming to the venous drainage. So venous drainage is by the axillary vein, internal thoracic vein, and posterior intercostal vein. Axillary vein also drains, internal thoracic vein also drains, and posterior intercostal vein also drains. In this picture also we can see here internal thoracic vein, axillary vein हुन्छ, इसलिए drain गर्छ. So three different veins: axillary vein, internal thoracic vein, र posterior intercostal vein. Three vein. Venous drainage. Axillary vein, internal thoracic vein, र posterior intercostal vein. Now coming to the lymphatic drainage. So for the examination point of view also, and for knowledge purpose also, so the lymphatic drainage of mammary gland is very, very important. You should know this. You can read in detail from book also. Lymphatic drainage is very important, sir. Clinically पनि. So lymphatic drainage मा यहाँ जुन छ, जो चार किसिमको lymph nodesहरु छ. One is the internal mammary lymph nodes. So major lymph node for the mammary gland is the axillary lymph nodes. The axillary lymph node is the major lymph nodes which drain the lymph from the mammary gland. Aru nodes are posterior intercostal nodes, internal mammary nodes, suprascapular nodes. Sorry, supraclavicular nodes. Supraclavicular nodes. So main ho axillary lymph nodes, and axillary lymph nodes are arranged into different groups. Central group cha, apical group cha, lateral group cha, anterior group cha, posterior group cha. So axilla को सेन्टरमा सेन्ट्रल ग्रुप छ, माथितिर एपिकल ग्रुप भयो, एन्टेरियर एक्सिलरी फोल्डतिर एन्टेरियर ग्रुप, पोस्टेरियर एक्सिलरी फोल्डतिर पोस्टेरियर ग्रुप, ल्याटरल वालमा ल्याटरल ग्रुप छ। सो एन्टेरियर वाल अफ एक्जिलामा एन्टेरियर ग्रुप, पोस्टेरियर वालमा पोस्टेरियर ग्रुप, ल्याटरल वालमा ल्याटरल ग्रुप र बिचमा सेन्टरमा सेन्ट्रल ग्रुप छ र अब एपिकल ग्रुप छ। सो लाइक दैट देयर आर मेनी ग्रुप्स। सो एक्सिलरी lymph nodes are divided into different group: anterior group, posterior, lateral group, apical group and central group. No medial group here. Anterior, posterior, lateral, apical and central. So axillary lymph nodes को 75% lymph is drained by the axillary lymph nodes and remaining by other nodes. In this picture we can see here. So axillary lymph node drains 75% of the lymph and 20% by the internal mammary lymph nodes. 20% by the internal mammary lymph nodes. Or 5% is by the posterior intercostal lymph nodes. You can note down this point. 75% by the axillary lymph nodes, 20% by the internal mammary lymph nodes. While lymph nodes are always present in cluster or in group. That's why it is called as lymph nodes always. They are not present singly. There is only one exceptions are there. One or very few exceptions are there in the body where it is present singly lymph node, but mostly they are present in group. That's why they are called as the lymph nodes or group of lymph nodes. So 75% lymph is drained by the axillary group of lymph nodes. Next to the axillary lymph node, major lymph node is the internal mammary lymph nodes. And internal mammary lymph nodes drain 20% and remaining 5% is by the posterior intercostal lymph nodes. The axillary lymph nodes ultimately drains into where? Apical group ma. Apical group ma drain karse isliye. Here we can see apical group ma drain karse. Apical central ma drain karse. Central पछि deltopectoral त्यसपछि ultimately drains हुन्थ्यो सबै apical group मा drain गर्छ, सबभन्दा माथि apical group मा drain गर्छ यसले axillary lymph nodes. So you can divide the mammary gland into four quadrant. So four quadrant ma, so upper lateral, lower lateral, upper lateral, lower lateral ले कहाँ drain गर्छ? Upper lateral र some part of the lower lateral drain गर्छ axillary मा. र lower lateral को अरु lymph अरु कहाँ drain हुन्छ? Posterior intercostal lymph nodes मा. र upper medial र lower medial. Upper medial र lower medial ले कहाँ drain गर्छ? Internal mammary lymph nodes मा. So if you divide the mammary gland into four quadrants, so four quadrants are upper lateral, lower lateral, upper medial, lower medial. So upper medial to lower medial drains into mainly the internal mammary lymph nodes. Upper lateral and some part of the lower lateral drains into the axillary lymph nodes. और lower lateral को केही lymph कहाँ जान्छ? Posterior intercostal lymph nodes मा. One very important, if there is a tumor CA in case of mammary gland and that is by the metastasis, there is a tumor in case of the ovary also, that is called Krukenberg tumor. So Krukenberg tumor is a tumor of the ovary and this tumor is because of the mammary gland. Mammary gland को tumor ले करता है उनसे, and this is because of the lymph. यो subperitoneal lymph nodes ले करता ultimately कहाँ होता? Ovary में. So if there is a tumor in case of mammary gland, so there is tumor also in case of ovary also, and this is because of the CA of the breast. There is a CA of ovary also, so that is because of the, and that CA is called as the Krukenberg tumor, and Krukenberg tumor is because of the lymphatic drainage. So the lymph ले करता mainly क्या होता? There is spreading of the cancerous tissue. So lymph drainage is very important. कहिले काहीँ short notes मा only lymph node को drainage मात्रै आउन सक्छ mammary gland को. So you read about the mammary gland को lymph node in detail from book. So lymphatic drainage को different groups are छ. So we can see here anterior group, posterior group, lateral group, central group, apical group. Apical ले कहाँ drain गर्छ? Supraclavicular lymph nodes. So axillary lymph nodes मा को mainly सबै drain हुन्छ कहाँ? Apical मा. Apical फेरि कहाँ लाग्छ? Supraclavicular lymph nodes मा. त्यसपछि lymphatic trunk मा जान्छ यो. So different groups of lymph nodes are. Now the nerve supply. Nerve supply is by the second to sixth intercostal nerves. Second intercostal. So nerve are different intercostal spaces are mounts. So second to sixth. यो easy छ याद गर्न. यो mammary gland को extension vertically कहाँ थियो? Second rib to sixth rib. र nerve supply पनि second to sixth intercostal nerves ले गर्छ. Now coming to the applied aspect. So applied aspect ma there is breast tumor obviously. The second commonest cancer in case of female, breast tumor, breast cancer. Then mastectomy. Mastectomy means there is surgical removal of the mammary gland. Surgical removal of the mammary gland. This procedure is called as the mastectomy. And mammography. Mammography is the X-ray examination of the breast. So mammography is also called as the soft tissue radiography. So there is a special X-ray machine for the radiograph of mammary gland. So in normal X-ray machine, so X-ray of mammary gland cannot be done. There should be a special machine that is called soft tissue radiography. That procedure. And there is a Krukenberg tumor. So Krukenberg tumor, I told you, it is a tumor of the ovary because of the tumor of mammary gland. And this is possible because of the lymph drainage. So lymph कहाँ हुन्छ? तल पनि आउँछ. Abdomen तिर पनि आउँछ lymphatic drainage. Lymph vessels are. And this is because of the metastasis, spread of lymph, spread of cancerous tissue from the mammary gland to the ovary also. That is called Krukenberg tumor. So like that. So stop here. You can see a different radiograph: craniocaudal, mediolateral, craniocaudal, and mediolateral. So your radiograph हो soft tissue radiography of the mammary gland. त्यसपछि congenitalहरू पनि छ यसको. Stop here. Hare Krishna. Everybody can ask. अहिले टाइम पनि छैन, 1 मिनट मात्र हामीसँग छ. So next class मा if you have any query you can read from the book. Also mammary gland को बारेमा खास गरी यो lymphatic drainage very important. Next class मा हामी यो vessels हरू गर्छौं. Vessels of upper limb.